India is all set to witness the highly anticipated ISRO's Chandrayaan-3 mission to the moon from the Satish Dhawan Space Centre in Sriharikota. The launch is scheduled for 2:35 p.m. This is India's second attempt to make a soft landing on the surface of the moon. The mission comes 4 years after the partial failure of Chandrayaan-2, which crash-landed on the surface of the moon. Learning from its past instance, ISRO has implemented several improvements in Chandrayaan-3 in order to ensure success this time around. And today we are being joined now by Chandrayaan-1 Project Director, Dr. Mailaswamy Annadurai. Well, thank you so much for joining us today, Mailaswamy Annadurai. You are, of course, referred to as the Moon Man of India, sir. How proud are you of India's Chandrayaan missions?
Yeah, I am really happy and humbled to be a part of the Chandrayaan mission. It's basically a mission given an opportunity, and once in a lifetime opportunity. I think it's for me, because I have grown up a child looking at the moon in the darkness in my village, which has not seen the street lights until I entered my fifth standard. That is until my age of 10. We didn't have even street light, leave alone the lights in the house. So in that panorama, I have enjoyed and played in the moonlight. From there all the way, being a part of the Chandrayaan-1 mission, which made a remarkable discovery of water on the moon, reaching history in the lunar science. I think I'm really feeling humble and privileged to be part of that opportunity being given to me.
Yes. Also, how far is Chandrayaan-3 though different from the first two missions? What do you believe is new this time around?
Basically Chandrayaan-1 is predominantly an orbiter, which has one modest impact probe that is taken away from after reaching the lunar orbit from 100-kilometer polar orbit. The Antadurai has thrown away this impact probe, which has its own descended path and hit on a near South Pole, along with the tricolor flag, along with the three science instruments. So that, but remaining the portion remaining years, the mother craft is working as predominantly a remote sensing mission, looking at the lunar surface, various science instruments, and that had a path-breaking some discoveries, lunar terrain map, many things that happened there. But logically, that Chandrayaan-2 supposed to have been along with orbiter have a soft landing. First one had a crash landing. So Chandrayaan-2 supposed to have a soft landing and do an in-situ analysis, wherein the other mission was of remote sensing from 100 kilometers. Here it's supposed to land and softly land on the moon and have instruments both in the lander and as well as the six-wheeled rover, which subsequently supposed to come out and do an in-situ analysis. So this was the target of Chandrayaan-2, but unfortunately Chandrayaan-2 could not meet its full objective. Chandrayaan-2 orbiter still is functioning. It's doing the finer resolutions, images, other things are taking. But the lander would not land it properly. It got crash landed like Chandrayaan-1. So that's why the unfulfilled objective of soft landing and doing an in-situ analysis didn't happen as a part of Chandrayaan-2 mission. Now Chandrayaan-3 takes over from where Chandrayaan-2 left. And that means not having an orbiter having a science instrument. Its orbiter is basically trying to take it from all the way from orbit from around the Earth where the GSLV lives. From there, take it to the moon, and then in 100-kilometer orbit, you try to push the lander. So the lander now supposed to go and land softly near the South Pole, the high latitude region in the southern region of the moon, softly land and bring out the six-wheel rover and do the in-situ analysis of the moon lunar surface concern. So this is the portion what Chandrayaan-3 supposed to do, predominantly demonstrate soft landing technically possible and do in-situ analysis during the so-called one lunar day. One lunar day is called 14 days with respect to Earth is concerned, where the sunlit on the place where we land will be there. So this is the objective of
yes. Also the big question, sir, how will Chandrayaan-3 change our understanding of the moon?
Yeah, if you recall, Chandrayaan 1 is one of the few missions which have the lunar polar orbit, wherein the pole to pole it was going around, having the state of the art, the science instruments in the various spectrum, visible spectrum, infrared spectrum, or the X-ray, hard X-ray, low energy X-ray, microwave imaging, like that, very many instruments looking at the moon and try to decipher what moon contains. And this mission of Chandrayaan 1 has seen near the poles, especially southern poles, moon is concerned, the possibility of water in the form of water molecules in the tenuous atmosphere and the hydroxyl molecules in the surface and subsurface in the form of frozen ice. I think that is a discovery has thrown open to the scientists a big surprise, and that way subsequent one or two missions also, including NASA, after nearly 40 years sent another mission to confirm the discovery of Chandrayaan is correct, and then confirmed. So accordingly, the subsequent missions are planned to go back to the moon. It's called the campaign is back to the moon towards the polar regions where Chandrayaan discovered. So when that is happening, basically the whole thing is it is started by Chandrayaan mission. So we also have our own logical steps to go ahead. So instead of a 100 kilometer, you have a soft landing. So the soft landing technologically, it's a logical extension. So that tomorrow, let us assume we have to send the even unmanned mission, which brings the samples back to the Earth, a robotic mission, or even a human is going. We should have a technologically proven system. We can softly land on a designated place. I think that's what we should supposed to do. So towards that, Chandrayaan 3 is taking the steps. When this happens,
Yes. Also, not just for India, sir, but why is the success of Chandrayaan 3 crucial for the entire world?
I think now already a good number of ambitious missions are in a place with a multi-billion-dollar missions. Artemis is one such thing, wherein they are planning go back to the moon with the bigger systems and even possible human stay for the enlarged durations also planned there. Towards that, already one mission has been launched a couple of months back, wherein it's an unmanned mission, but it went to the moon and orbiting around the moon, then came back and safely came back here. That has been recovered. So subsequently, another couple of months from now, the similar route with the 4 people, 3 men and 1 woman point of view is going to be launched by US. And this time also, it will take the same route as what the previous mission, unmanned mission, has gone. But subsequently, it may happen another third or fourth mission, along with the humans, it will be landed on the South Pole where Chandrayaan 3 is going to land. So that way, Chandrayaan 3, what it is taking step is a forerunner for what is going to happen in the world of science, in the lunar science is concerned. And incidentally, now Artemis, in the Artemis Club, India also joining. So in a subsequent international efforts to go back to the moon and to have possible even the modest human colonies or even the lunar-based international space station, and all these efforts are going to take place near the poles. And towards that, definitely if you acquire the technology of soft landing, that will help us to play an equal partner along with others. So that way, Chandrayaan 3 is whatever the lead we have taken to maintain that lead and to be a part and parcel of the other global players in this domain.
Yes. Just a broader question now for you, Dr. Annadurai. Is India's space program progressing as rapidly as you would expect?
Yeah, I think it's, if you recall, during the time period 2015, 18, 19, around that time period until COVID onset has come, and we had a good number of rapid growth was there. Almost every month on launch our satellites happening from Sriharikota or even from Chandrayaan. That means almost every month one satellite data for launch was going on, and it was trying to pick it up. But unfortunately, COVID has come. The COVID has created some disturbance. I think that's the thing happened to that. And similarly, we have another setback in Chandrayaan 2. So these are all two, three hiccups happened to that. But notwithstanding that, I believe now I think we will regroup and get back the the momentum where we lost. In the process, along with ISRO, good number of private players also will be joining. So that way, I think beyond Indian Space Research Organization, ISRO, Indian space program is now going to accommodate good number of private players, including even the startups from young generation. So that way, I think regrouping is taking place. That way, Indian space program will come back to its bank, possibly after this long-awaited Chandrayaan 3 landing on the moon. It will revigorate the whole thing there, and we will be back with the bang.
What about the latest developments, sir? How do you believe the entry of private sector firms in the space sector are going to change its landscape?
You look at Indian space program is predominantly started for the societal needs of the humanity, and I think we have done reasonably well towards that. Now the missions like Chandrayaan and Mangalyaan, it gives a brand that even to go to the moon or Mars also we can make it a very, very cost-effective systems we can make. Like that we have shown. That means our PSLVs and GSLVs are capable of doing something much more than what originally we thought about. So putting the things together, and again, we are ourselves showcasing to the world, India is developing and India is fast growing. In the fast growth, the Indian space program also has its own contribution. So putting the things together and its reliability of the Indian space program, putting together, a good number of nations are trying to follow what India is doing. That means when they want to progress, they want to make in their part and parcel of the system space program also. When that happens, I think what India has done nearly 40, 50 years back, India was relying on the Western countries, be it Russia, be it US. I think we relied on that. But with their help, I think we moved forward. But today, India has its own self-sufficiency. Not only self-sufficiency, India has done, I think, 3 years. I think the pre-COVID 1 year and pre-COVID 2 years and the post-COVID 1 year. 3 years every year bringing around 15 to 20 countries who are not spacefaring today. They have been brought and showcased what India is doing, and not only telling, and they have some hands-on experience how to make they can make the small satellites and launch. This is also given. So that has given a good feel about the people, so that they can come back to India for their space journey to start. So that means it opens up another big market. And within India also, we have a good possibilities post-COVID, be it a communication, be it a health, be it weather monitoring, be it a disaster monitoring, be it even the border security. For very many things, a good number of satellites to be made and launched. So these things are also happening there. So all put together, the requirement both nationally, internationally, huge. To harness that, to make use of that requirement is an opportunity. When this sort of a brand missions also coming towards India, people are coming. For that, ISRO alone cannot do. If ISRO start doing it, ISRO will be another production center. So R&D will get affected. There is another R&D, whether going for the manned mission or the subsequent lunar mission or subsequent Mars mission, like that. This sort of missions towards that, the R&D efforts will get disturbed. So leaving R&D portions of a science point of view or technology point of view to ISRO predominantly, the routine missions either commercially or with requirement coming from within Indian government, this can be done by the Indian industry. So that is the reason this has been, even ISRO has been reorganized to bring in a wing which will license to the Indian industry. And we have today a huge amount of infrastructure built in. That's how we could make it almost every month one satellite being rolled out. Means that simultaneously around 20 satellites can be built. That the huge infrastructure, state-of-the-art infrastructures have been made within India. So now the infrastructure will be made available to the Indian industry, so that they do not huge investment to start with, not called for. So that way there is a big ecosystem already available. Requirement is also available, and we have ISRO also done reasonably good hand holding, and the confidence level in India is also good, and already a couple of missions here that making the satellite and launch vehicles also happening. So putting the things together, I feel there is an ecosystem emerging where an Indian industry can do a routine missions, routine launches for either national or international requirement, whereas ISRO will continue to do its R&D thing. That way, if you do, there's a big lesson learned from NASA. NASA, you look at it started with a big way, but when the routine missions started coming, its own R&D got affected. But now when they're trying to regroup, now you look at here, they are the commercially everything is done by the private industry. R&D only being happening in NASA. I think instead of waiting for long, I think ISRO is Indian space program is taking these steps, and the government also accordingly the space policies has been adjusted. So that way, I feel like what is happening in the broadcast media, what is happening in the airlines, what is
Yes.
happening in the communication lines, what is happening even education, okay, even education, what is happening in healthcare. So both government and as well as private players playing a role is making the affordability of education, affordability of healthcare, affordability of the even the data plans, the affordability of air travel. Many things are happening. Similarly, the space harnessing also that affordability India can provide. That way, I feel this is a very healthy situation. Indian industries being brought in for the overall Indian space efforts are concerned. I am for it.
Okay, but how did you become the moon man of India now? We want to know. Take us through your journey, sir.
How people are calling me and why people are calling me, I cannot tell. I should ask them only. But possibly look at here, as I told previously. My beginning is a very humble beginning, where in the remote village in Tamil Nadu, which has not have, it didn't have even the street lights, very good road, and even the protected drinking water. Why? Even the so-called school was, the permanent buildings called school was not existing when I started my schooling. Actually, in a makeshift arrangement of the cow set is the one where I studied my first two standards, and the second and third standard point of view, it's going in a Mariamman temple, a makeshift arrangement. And when I entered the fourth standard, only a so-called building for the school has come. But in front of that, it's a very big Kathani area. So we have to clean that area and make sure that the playground is ready. So when fifth standard, I'm entering a school with a playground and was made available. So that's how it's happened. But sixth standard, I have to walk 5 kilometers outside my village, morning 5 kilometers back. That was the condition wherein we never had a privilege of having a chapel or umbrella. Okay, in case of monsoon, it will be heavily raining and uninterrupted rain. So we have to manage all these things. That happened. It's a very hard life. But still, I think I made use of every opportunity of what is not with me was not perturbing me. What is given to me was helping. So that way, I think the hard-earned way we learned. And that I think that's why every opportunity I used to grab like anything. Okay, that's what happened there. That's how, and all the way when coming and joining ISRO, also to start with a very humble beginning, but still in this opportunity, what can be done I was talking about. I was telling to my seniors,
Okay.
and they luckily they listened what I asked for, and it was really a good thing. Professor Rao, who is no more here now, and but he was my director from the position which I subsequently retired when I retired. So when I projected a project, just 2 weeks of my joining in ISRO, he accepted it. The budget was around 700,000 rupees, whereas my salary that time, monthly salary, was 700 rupees. So there is no looking back after that. That means there is a place where you tell, and then subsequently 4 years I struggled to make the project ready. Once the project is ready, I was given next responsibility and a promotion. So this cycle started going up. That means something you do, they recognize and reward you and give another opportunity, another responsibility, all the way to the mission to the Chandrayaan. I think that's how it happened there. So a man from a boy from a village nook corner of Tamil Nadu, all the way to the prestigious lunar mission, is symbolically indicating this land provides an opportunity, and if you are ready to take the opportunity and make use of it, it's ready to recognize and reward you. So more than this
Yes.
name, another thing, I think it symbolizes or the Indian culture, irrespective of wherever you born, however you're brought out. It's where you started is immaterial, but where you reach, it depends on what you are capable of. I think my journey symbolizes that in India.
Absolutely. Finally, sir, where do you draw your inspiration from as a scientist?
Wow, that that changes. That I think depends on the time frame of that. As I told, to start with, it was Professor R. Rao, because he gave the thing, because even today, when the youth, when something is not there in the streets, we used to write in a WhatsApp or Facebook or Twitter. But instead of that, what I can do, I think that's what that's happened at that time. I wrote something in a very, very cryptic way. This can be done like that. Then he called me and told, "Why can't you yourself do that?" Responsibility gave. That is really opened it up way. So that was he has is really, really my the role model or godfather, whatever it is in the space program is concerned. And subsequently, definitely for the good number of people, Kalam also played a role, and that's happened even Chandrayaan mission.
Yes.
To reconfigure the mission, what originally planned versus what really it happened, even Chandrayaan on itself, we carried a national flag, along with that a 35 kg system has been, and a piggyback system has landed
Absolutely.
on the pole of the moon. That has happened thanks to Kalam's idea. So that way, the people whomever came across, definitely they inspired me. Even the the newly joined youth also comes out with an idea. Definitely, like whatever Professor Rao has done, I think something similar I also done. So that way, look at here within the ISRO, a system wherein the people are ready to identify this sort of talents, and I channelize this thing was there. So that way, a good number of people, even Dr. Madhav Nair is another thing, Dr. Kasturangan is another person, because Kasturangan is the one who made initial thoughts of the mission to come. And Dr. Madhav Nair gave the opportunity, and he was the chairman, being a project director of this mission. Like that, Dr. Radhakrishnan became the program director for Mangalyaan, the director of ISRO Satellite Center,
Yes.
came. So every one of them,
Okay.
irrespective of the thing, I think this particular spiraling thing they have given to me. So that way, I am indebted to each one, every one of them. By and large, I think the Indian populace is the one that is the one which the mantle which makes me to burn all along.
Dr. Annadurai, thank you very much for joining us on NewsX, sharing your perspective on, of course, Chandrayaan 3 and talking about your overall journey. Appreciate you being with us.
For more such videos, subscribe to the NewsX YouTube channel, hit the bell icon.